concerned about him not turning up. Man's a bit of a PUSSY. That's all I can say.
Do you believe you're already in his head?
Yes, man's a shit house.
If you get through Dillian Whyte here, is it all the belts next?
Nope, retired after this fight.
How many beers will you drink after you beat Dillian Whyte?
No, because I'm on a dry year.
And as you heard Tyson Fury announce after this fight that he will once again retire, okay? He will retire after the Dillian Whyte fight. If he is successful beating Dillian Whyte, he will retire from the sport of boxing at age 33. And what's my thoughts? Where's my counterpunch on that? I think that Tyson Fury, this is right up the alley. I think this is unorthodox for Tyson Fury to fight a dangerous opponent, then turn around and fight another dangerous opponent. And I think what he does, I think he warrants doing this type of itinerary, this type of fighting schedule with him retiring. I think Tyson Fury is not a consistent fighter. I think what he does is he makes that one big sacrifice and then he gets the hell out of a Dodge. The only concerning factor is with Tyson Fury is what the hell will he really do if he does retire, okay? Because before he stepped out of the ring and he was a mess, okay? He was on coke, drank way too much, ate way too much, got out of shape, overweight, depressed, in a mess, living in less, thinking about suicide. And I wonder, how will this be different than before? It seems to me like he's practicing an episode of insanity. You can't do the same thing and expect a different result. Now, he did say, hey, it's going to be a dry year, but then he turns around and says, hey, well, I'll be sipping on a pina colada next to a blonde. He said that in the same episode, in the same interview. So I'm like, okay, well, what the hell is really going on with Tyson Fury? Tyson Fury gives people hints on what he does. Like he said, hey, I might spiral out of control and then come back in 2 or 3 years. That may happen. And that is understandable. That is believable because that is what we've seen of Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's only 33 years of age, regardless of what the fuck you think he is and how he's beat up his body, how he looks a lot older or whatever. He actually looks kind of good now. He looks a lot better than he did, in earlier times or whatnot. But, him retiring at age 33 without fighting Joe Joyce, Anthony Joshua, a lot of these other fighters that he could have challenged himself with, I don't know. I think it's premature for him to retire, but it's right up the money with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, I think, has retirement on his mind all the time. That's why it's so easy for him to talk about retiring. Hey, I'm going to defend a belt or defend my belt against the interim championship or the champion. And I'm going to do that. And after I do that, I'm going to retire. Not stay consistent, not, get 5, 6, 7 title defenses, none of that. He's just way too unorthodox for anybody to really fathom of what's Tyson Fury going to do. But at the same time, I think that's the beauty of Tyson Fury. You don't know what Tyson Fury's going to do. So when you do hear retirement, not saying you don't think he's going to retire. I think he's going to retire because I think he just wants to party. I think he loves that lifestyle. But in the second notion, he never stays consistent with anything. So if he does narrow out of control and spiral out of control and get back on drugs, get back on drinking, I think the silver lining is the comeback, the way home. Okay? The road back to what he knows. And that may be Tyson Fury's whole career. He may skip in and out of the sport of boxing for the next 10 years. Okay, that's what I see of Tyson Fury. I see him coming in and out of the sport. I see him spiraling out of control. I see him saying this, then saying that contradicts this, that contradicts that. And I think that's going to be Tyson Fury. And I think through the inconsistency, through the unorthodox way of thinking that he has, he will still manage to keep everyone entertained. Either entertained or annoyed or whatever, but at the end of the day, you're still going to see him fight. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Tyson the Gypsy King Fury announcing that he will retire after fighting Dillian, the Body Snatcher Whyte. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.